Naked eye, all tissue, neat slide photo. A quick, easy and cheap method using an iPad and a recycled yogurt pot. Presented by Amanda Charlton at the RCPA ASM on the 18th of September 2015 in Queenstown, New Zealand. The naked eye all-tissue image visually links the macroscopic specimen photo and the microscopic histology. We all know the naked eye image contains information about cell density, architecture, margins, and orientation. The missing link is how to capture this naked eye image. The field of view on a microscope-mounted camera is not wide enough. The trick to get the wide field to capture all of the tissue on the slide is to use a regular compact digital camera with backlighting. Let's get started. We harness the power of modern LED screens. You already have a light box in your pocket or bag. It is your phone or iPad or tablet. Use an app to make the screen a continuous bright white light. I've put links to these apps on a wiki page. The web address is at the end of the presentation and in the URLs in the window below this video to share with you. You will be thinking, why don't I put the slide directly on the tablet screen? I have tried this and the results are not good, because the tissue is virtually in the same plane as the pixels that make up the screen. The photograph now includes the actual pixel grid that make up the tablet screen. There are two problems with photographing the pixel grid. The most obvious is the grid, which looks like a fly screen mesh or stretched out pantyhose under the slide. On the right, I've rotated the slide on the screen so the grid is diagonal. Moire pattern, a rainbow or zebra effect, seen here at the interface of the cover slip. Moire pattern is a visual effect created when two nearly identical patterns are overlaid. In this case, the pixel grid and the linear elements of the cover slip. Avoidance of the moire effect is why TV presenters don't wear houndstooth jackets on screen. The solution is a diffuser to obscure the pixel grid. I've tried different diffusers such as tracing paper, white photocopy paper, but I've found paper has fibers which are also captured in the photo, so paper is no good. The solution is taken from the original light boxes. They all have a diffuser panel between the light source and the subject. You could recycle the plastic diffuser panel from the front of an old X-ray viewing box. The technical name for this X-ray viewing box diffuser panel is acrylic sheet in opal color. You can buy these cut to size online on eBay and from plastic suppliers. I got a pack of 5 A4 sized opal sheets for $20 delivered. This is a nice firm surface to place your slide on. Even cheaper and easier is a semi-translucent white plastic or polypropylene file cover, costing less than $1 from Officeworks. Two conditions have to be met in order for this to work. Firstly, it has to be white, not clear, in order to diffuse the pixel grid. Secondly, it has to have a very smooth surface because any bumpy texture will also be captured in the photograph. In an emergency, a white plastic kitchen tidy shopping bag or supermarket shopping bag could do, but they tend to be quite wrinkly and the wrinkles will be captured in your photograph. Plastic document wallets tend to be made of stiffer material. They work well too, and you can cut the plastic to neatly fit your light box. You don't need an expensive SLR camera. The idea is to use what you already have, and most people have some sort of compact camera. Any compact digital camera with macro mode and a minimum focus distance of about 5 cm or less will do. This is an old point-and-shoot Panasonic Lumix I found in my gadget junk drawer. It's about 8 years old. On macro mode, the minimum focus distance is 5 cm. Perfect. This is a super zoom fixed lens Canon SX30 from 2010. The macro minimum focus distance is 0 cm. Perfect. On the right is a micro 4/3 fixed lens Canon G1X from 2012, but the minimum focus distance is 20 cm. This is not suitable for the method I will demonstrate. So how do we hold the camera stationary but within a few centimeters of the trans-illuminated slide? The camera mount is a plastic food container. I think this one contained olives. The container must be wide enough to support your camera and shallow enough to position the lens at the minimum focus distance from the light box. I've already cut a hole in the base. To get the correct diameter hole, turn the camera so the lens extends and push the zoom toggle to wide or 3 trees. The cut hole in the base should fit snugly when the lens is in the wide position. The setup is light box, diffuser and mounted camera. I use a black paper or cardboard mask with a rectangular hole the size of a slide to reduce extraneous light entering the camera. I place this on top of the diffuser, which is placed on top of the tablet. If you are using a phone instead of a tablet, the size of the phone surface is too small to balance the broad base of the recycled food container on. To make a stable wide surface, put a hard clear plastic surface such as an old CD cover over the phone before the diffuser and the mask. There are about 10 camera settings you need in order to get optimal results. The good news is, once you've set up the camera, you don't need to change the settings again. Set the zoom toggle to wide or 3 trees. Select the macro or close-up mode, which is the flower icon. Turn the mode dial to aperture priority. Set the lowest number f-stop, in this case 4.0. If your camera does not have aperture priority mode, this method will still work. Just be sure to use the macro mode. Change the ISO from auto to 100. Select the largest image size, in this case more than 4000 pixels wide. For exposure metering, select Center Weighted Average. Adjust the colors in the Canon menu under My Colors. Choose Vivid. The increased contrast and saturation look good on screen. In the Shooting menu, turn the digital zoom off. For cameras with a flip-out screen, turn the reverse display on. We need to change the white balance from auto white balance to custom white balance. Scroll past all of the lighting source options until you come to custom white balance. The icon is usually the last option. Set up the camera on top of the light box on top of the diffuser. Tell the camera to evaluate the white balance, in this case by pressing the display button. See how the color changes from an orange cast to white. With the custom white balance set, place a mask over the diffuser, then place the slide into the mask. Place the camera over the slide. Focus on the slide by depressing the shutter button halfway. If the camera won't focus, check the zoom toggle is wide or 3 trees. Camera focusing algorithms need to see an edge in order to focus. so you may need to move the camera with respect to the slide to get the edge of the tissue in the focus square. Pressing the shutter button with your finger on the camera will result in camera shake and your image will be blurry. The solution is to set the 2-second self-timer, then press the shutter button and take your hand away from the camera. The camera will then be absolutely still when the image is captured. Evaluate the photo. If it appears to be grey or dull, it means the photo is underexposed. The solution to increase the brightness is to use exposure compensation. This is the plus-minus icon, and the value is measured in increments of 1/3 of an exposure stop. I have found between +1/3 and +1 gives a whiter background without losing colour information. Every camera will be different. However, once you find the correct exposure value compensation, this will remain the same for the same camera. Once the camera settings are set, they don't need to be set again. When you next turn the camera on, it will be ready to take a neat photo with no further adjustments. For convenience, I have repurposed this 8-year-old compact camera I found in my electronics junk drawer to be my naked all-tissue slide photo camera. The reason this plastic food container is taller is because the minimum focus distance of this camera is 5 cm. The photo quality is perfect for screen viewing, such as in PowerPoint presentations. You don't need Photoshop, which is expensive and complex, to edit your images. You can quickly and easily optimize your images using PowerPoint, which you already have. The photo imported from the camera card is on the left. It's rather grey, soft, and shows distracting cover slip edges and bubbles. To get the edited image on the right took less than a minute. I usually batch process more than one naked eye all-tissue photo at a time. The next video shows the steps for image editing in PowerPoint. Take the memory card from the camera and insert into the computer. I'm using an SD to USB reader since my PC does not have an SD card slot. For time efficiency, I usually edit several photos sequentially. In PowerPoint, insert, photo album, new photo album, insert picture from file. Navigate to the camera card and find the image files in the folder called DCIM. To select multiple discontinuous photos, hold down the Control key. Click Insert. The file numbers will appear. Click Create. The photos have automatically been inserted in the correct size into sequential slides. Let's work on the bone slide with osteogenesis imperfecta. Click on the photo, which brings up the Format tab and the Picture Tools tab. Click on the Picture Tools tab to bring up the Picture Tools ribbon. Click on Remove Background. Pink represents the area to be removed. Drag the handles close to the tissue. We want to remove the edges of the slide and cover slip. Keep changes. The tissue now has a transparent background. Click on the picture, Picture Tools, Corrections, Picture Correction Options to bring up the Format Picture window with sliders. The picture correction options that worked for this image are Sharpness plus 25%, Brightness plus 11%, Contrast plus 35%, Saturation plus 105%, Color Temperature no change. Remember, we did custom white balance at capture. We can move from import of image to final PowerPoint in less than 1 minute. Using your iPad or tablet, a compact camera, and a recycled food container, you can capture neat photos in your office, beside the microscope and computer. Scientific and technical staff can be trained to capture and edit these images for you. It's quick, less than 4 minutes from glass slide to PowerPoint slide. It's cheap. You already have a digital camera, a phone or tablet screen, and PowerPoint. It's easy. Follow the instructions on the RCPA website and the Wikispace. A more interactive resource is this open access Wikispace webpage, where you will find the written instructions, links to the Lightbox apps in the Apple and Android app stores, links to the 4 how-to videos shown in this presentation. The Wikispace website address on this label is shown in the details box below this video presentation. Or even quicker and easier, scan the QR code on this screen with your mobile device to go directly to the wiki. I encourage you to have a go. Thank you.